2 nights in a haunted house. I still remember. Everything more than 40 years ago, I went with my grandmother to visit my father's uncle in Fahahil. In those days, it was normal to stay for a few days at a relative's house. But this house felt different. It looked huge to me as a child. Way bigger than it really was when I stood at the entrance. I felt something strange, like the place was hiding secrets my grandmother kept giving me advice on the way. Not to run, not to touch anything, not to make noise. I didn't like it back then, but later I understood. When we arrived, the place felt dark and uncomfortable. The trees were everywhere and not taken care of. The palm leaves made strange sounds, and the whole place felt like someone was watching me. Even the doorbell sounded deep and weird. A man opened the door and looked at me in a way that made me feel unwelcome. At first, everything seemed normal, but then I started hearing sounds from the ceiling. I tried to ignore it, but I couldn't. So I asked my cousin about it. He laughed and said, "Don't be scared. It's the people of the earth." I asked him what he meant, and he looked at me and said, "And..." That word stayed in my head the whole time. That night we slept in a guest room on the rooftop. It was quiet and isolated. My grandmother fell asleep quickly, but I stayed awake thinking. Then suddenly I heard knocking on the door. Froze. I didn't know if it was real or just in my head. Then it came again, louder this time. I woke my grandmother quietly. She listened. And then the knocking happened again. She held me tight. I could feel her shaking. Then she slowly got up and opened the door. There was no one there. We went back to bed, but after a few minutes the bed started moving slightly. Just enough to scare me more. I told her, "They are here, the people of the earth." She started praying, and suddenly everything stopped. The silence after that was worse than anything. In the morning, she told her brother what happened, and he said the house had been like this since it was built. Then he told us he once saw a tall figure before dawn, wearing traditional clothes. It told him they were Muslims and wouldn't harm them, and then disappeared. The second night was even worse. Around midnight, I saw a shadow behind the window, like a man standing there. I woke my grandmother. She shouted, asking who it was, and told it to leave. The shadow moved, then came back, and this time it knocked on the window. She opened it quickly, and there was no one, but saw a man standing far on the rooftop. I saw him clearly, and I still don't think I imagined it. She closed the curtain and told me to sleep. Nothing else happened, but I couldn't handle it anymore. The next day I refused to stay and asked to go back home. And until today, after all these years, I still remember those 2 nights like they happened yesterday. Do you think it was real or just fear playing tricks on a child's mind?